Human factors. Passion. We're going to talk about passion. Passion. Well, what is it? Let's get to the point, because I was about to tell a story. Passion is a pulse, euphoria. Spiritually, it's born in our base chakra, that is, the sexual chakra. So, be sure that you'll be totally clouded. Many people often say, I am in love. You've met a person, you're walking in the street or anywhere, and suddenly you see someone and say, wow, I fell in love. There are funny stories about people who met someone, and on the third day, they're planning things. I have written a funny chronicle about a person who met somebody at a nightclub, in that euphoria. On the other day, they were talking on the phone every 10 minutes. After a week, they said, we're very much the same. I even think we've known each other from other lives. You know, things human beings do, and after a month together doing a lot of things that have nothing to do with a healthy, intelligent, organized, rational, prudent construction. Nothing to do with them. It's really a movement of the chakra pulse. So, what happens? We can even buy a house and get married. How many children do we want to have? 2. Nice. How about your work? Passion is about pulse, a very strong acceleration of our chakra's needs, and its contents, which are our needs, desires, things about the body that we don't see, and obviously we don't notice them. It's an impression the others cause due to the figure they have, also about someone who, at some point, has marked us unconsciously for being similar to another, or you saw in a magazine or movie, or there's another story behind. So, someone comes, and they fit in that particular moment. That's when a great love begins, from your point of view. We may also say a big mistake begins too. Maybe. Look what I'm emphasizing. Passion is overwhelming. It comes strongly. Some don't, they start, and on the third or fourth day they finish. It depends. Passion with investment makes a journey of a year and a half, more and less. When the part of our base chakra cycle begins to fade, it can't keep the relationship. While sexuality keeps the relationship, you continue. But look, a relationship based on passion can last up to 4 years. In 4 years, you won't have that passion anymore. It's like this. For a year and a half or 2, you're based on intense intimacy and needs, things that keep people in a relationship. Then, in the 3rd year, there's still something. There are our needs and things we don't want to lose because we're still coming back to the first moments. Did you see how happy we were? We were always together. But you're talking about passion. You're not talking about lucidity. You're really not. So, it's obvious that 4 years later, it seems all the emotional armaments are over to make that relationship work. Things get complicated, and we can't generally resist. Then we move away and seek other things to keep up with what isn't possible anymore. So, this is passion. If you ask, but isn't it love? Look, passion has nothing to do with love. I can talk about love later. Passion is in the base chakra. When you love, you pass the heart chakra. You're here in this region. It's another thing. It's about maturity, organization, discernment of a path. Not only the external path, but your inner one also needs to be very well defined, because in passion, you can't say no, or you say it with much violence. And when you're at the level of the heart chakra, when you say no, it's sensible and appropriate. You position yourself, but clearly not wanting to destroy the other. At the level of passion, a no is to submit the other, to destroy, to offend, to threaten. That's the level of passion. At the level of love, if someone asks if you want to do something, you can say, "Sorry, but I don't want to." And the person will notice you aren't talking angrily, with emotional burdens. There's no burden, there's common sense. It's different. We'll talk about love later, but I think it's a good idea that if we want to make a path of happiness, we have to leave our emotional childhood and adolescence to be able to see the world better. You'll say, "Oh, but everyone was a child and a teenager." I know that, but why am I saying these things? For someone to listen somewhere, at that age, and say, "That's right. I think it makes sense." Otherwise, you go through this phase, completely wrong, because we really do it when we are children or teenagers. Most of the time, there's no one to guide us. And when we do, we don't want to listen to them, because our impulses are bigger than the common sense of wanting to hear some advice. So you have to put a bit of fear and threat for the person to hear. This is how it has been done for a long time. It continues to be done on TV, the radio, the media, which, consciously or unconsciously, use fear to engage people, to exalt the emotion, and to be able to sell a lot. This is how we're living. We have to know that. We may even have to do that due to a need for survival, but we must be aware of what we're doing. Our passion has a path. It can't last more than the third 7-year cycle. In the first 7-year cycle you're a child, you know nothing. Whatever happened, it happened in your life. In the second 7-year cycle, from 7 to 14 years old, nowadays we have more information, then we'll probably make fewer mistakes. The space is also larger, but, in the third 7-year cycle, we believe that. We're talking about cycles, which is more or less the path, the cycle of the chakra. Don't use this as a fixed number, it's not a rule. So, more or less like this, about 21 or 22 years old, sometimes a little earlier, the person can no longer continue in that process. They need to have discernment. They want to do many things, but with discernment to organize their lives. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. You can also visit our website and follow us on social media. You'll find the links in the description. And if you want to delve deeper into these topics, our online store has much more study material on human behavior and spirituality.
Você pode buscar no nosso site. Então nos encontramos no próximo Fatores Humanos.
Would you like to participate in a work of energy giving from afar that is benefiting thousands of people? Click on the link below for more information.